I've always taken the 11:47 p.m. train. It's the last one out of the city, and it's usually empty enough to let me sprawl across the plastic seats. Earbuds in, fading into half sleep. That night was no different until it was. The station was unusually quiet. Even for that hour, there's usually the shuffling of late-night workers, the occasional burst of music from someone's headphones. But tonight, just the hum of the vending machines and the buzzing flicker of a light above platform 6. I almost turned back, but the cold pushed me forward. When the train arrived, it screeched louder than usual. Not the metallic grind I was used to, but a longer, higher sound, like something was dragging underneath. Still, I stepped on, half asleep, fingers wrapped around a lukewarm bottle of coffee. The doors hissed shut behind me. I chose the second car from the back. Like always, it's usually the most empty. But tonight, it wasn't empty. There was someone sitting at the far end. All in black, black hoodie, black pants, black shoes, head bowed, hood up, hands resting neatly on their knees. Completely still. I paused. Maybe a homeless guy, maybe just someone tired, like me. I took the seat 3 rows down. Across the aisle, far enough to avoid eye contact. Close enough to keep an eye on him. I don't know why, maybe it was the way he didn't move. As the train rumbled out of the station, I put my earbuds in, but didn't press play. I just sat there, listening to the hum of the train, to the occasional crackle over the speaker system, and to the absence of something that should have been there. Breathing. He wasn't breathing, or at least, I couldn't hear it. No rise and fall, no shifting in his seat. He sat like a mannequin. I tried to dismiss it. Looked out the window. Just darkness. Flashing lights as we sped past graffiti-tagged walls and empty platforms. 10 minutes in, I peeked back. Same position. Still no movement, but now his head was tilted slightly toward me. I looked away. It was just my imagination. Trick of the light. A turn in the tracks. I drank my coffee. Let the heat calm the crawling chill in my spine. At the halfway mark, the train jerked slightly. Unusual, but nothing alarming. Until I looked up. He was 1 row closer. Still sitting. Still facing forward. But now 4 rows away instead of 5. I hadn't heard him move. Hadn't seen him move. The train was too quiet for that. I stood up, slowly. Moved to a different row, closer to the door. I kept my eyes on the reflection in the window. Pretending to stare at my phone. In the glass, I saw him. Still. Another jerk. The lights above flickered once. Twice. Then held steady. I looked again. Another row closer. My heart hammered. I stood up quickly. Turned to face him. He hadn't moved. Still that bowed head. Still those hands folded on his knees. But I could swear his head was turned. Just slightly. Enough to watch me from beneath the hood. I moved to the next car. No one. Completely empty. I walked through the cars. One by one. 8 in total. Every one empty. I didn't stop until I reached the front. Sat behind the driver's cabin. Heart pounding. And then I heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Measured. From the rear. No doors had opened. No intercom announcement. Just the sound of soft-soled shoes. Closing the distance car by car. I held my breath. They stopped. I didn't dare turn around. The train screeched. The overhead lights flickered. And the speakers crackled. Then silence. When I finally turned around, the car was empty. No one. I waited there, frozen, until we reached the last stop. I was the only one who got off. Or so I thought. The station was dark. The old-style lamps barely lit the platform. I hurried toward the exit. Legs stiff. Cold air knifed through my jacket. My apartment is only a 7-minute walk from the station. I glanced over my shoulder once. Empty street. Just the rattle of leaves and the buzz of a neon sign from the corner deli. When I turned onto my block, I saw him. The man in black. Standing in front of my building. Not moving. Just there. Waiting. I stopped. My mouth went dry. I blinked. He was gone. I ran up the stairs. Fumbled with the keys. Slammed the door shut behind me. Locked it. Bolted it. Sat on the floor for 20 minutes without moving. Eventually, I laughed it off. I was tired. Probably hallucinating. Stress. Finals week. Until I looked out my bedroom window. He was there. On the sidewalk. facing up at my window. I pulled the curtains, called a friend, slept with the lights on. That was 3 nights ago. Now, every night, he's there. Same place, same clothes, never moving, never speaking. I don't know what he wants. I don't know if he's even real. But I haven't taken the train since. And I don't sleep anymore. Because the last thing I see, every night, is his silhouette under the streetlight, watching. We were just supposed to be gone one night. That's what we all agreed to. The plan was simple. Hike up Crescent Hill, camp under the stars, share a few drinks, and come back the next morning. There were 5 of us, me, Jason, Lila, Mark, and Devin. We weren't thrill seekers or anything. Just friends from college wanting one last outing before graduation. Crescent Hill had a reputation. People in town said it was quiet in the wrong way. No birds, no wind at the top. Just a stillness that didn't feel natural. But we didn't care. We thought it would make the perfect setting for spooky stories and late-night laughs. We reached the top just before sunset. The view was strange. You'd expect a sprawling landscape, trees swaying, maybe the distant glow of town lights. But there was none of that. Just fog, thick, colorless fog rolling in faster than it should. It wrapped around the hill like a noose, swallowing the base and blurring the horizon. It should have been a warning. That night, the air felt wrong. It was too still, too heavy. Every sound we made, footsteps, voices, even laughter, seemed to echo back weirdly. Not louder, not fainter, just off. Like the hill didn't know how to process sound. Around midnight, Jason noticed something strange in the distance. A faint red light, blinking slowly, like a dying heartbeat. It was maybe 50 feet from our campsite. Deeper in the fog, none of us had seen it earlier. We chalked it up to some kind of ranger beacon or maybe someone else camping nearby. Still, it made us uneasy. Devin, being Devin, wanted to check it out. Just a quick look, he said, grabbing his flashlight. Jason and Mark followed. Lila stayed with me. We sat by the fire, watching their lights fade into the mist. They never came back. We waited an hour, then 2. We yelled their names, but the fog swallowed our voices whole. No echoes, no replies, just silence. At some point, I must have fallen asleep, or passed out, I don't know, because the next thing I remember was a blaring sound, sharp and cold, like a foghorn tearing through my skull. I opened my eyes to daylight and chaos. Paramedics were shaking me. A searchlight was still on. People in orange vests. A chopper overhead. Lila was crying, clutching her face. I turned to find Jason, Mark, and Devin standing nearby, confused, pale, and trembling. We were all there, alive, but something was wrong. The rescue team said we'd been missing for 4 days. 4, not 1, not a few extra hours. 4 entire days. We had no food left, no water, no sense of time passing. None of us remembered anything beyond that red light. None of us, except Devin. He wouldn't talk at first, just sat by himself, clutching something in his hand like it was keeping him anchored. I got a look at it when the medics took it from him. It was a torn piece of cloth, deep red, frayed at the edges, like it had been ripped from a larger sheet or a garment. But it wasn't the cloth that got to me. It was what was printed on it. There was a pattern, faded but visible. Rows of eyes, each one slightly different, not drawn, photographic, human eyes, hundreds of them, staring in different directions, printed on the fabric like wallpaper. Some wide in terror, others glazed over in blank stares. The rescue team bagged it and said nothing. Devin just kept whispering something to himself. I caught it once, just barely. We weren't alone. We tried to go back, weeks later. We wanted closure, or maybe proof that we weren't losing our minds. But the trail was different. The fog didn't come back. The red light was gone. And the hill felt empty now. Like whatever had been there had moved on. But here's the thing. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and my phone is open to the photo app. There's always one new picture. Always the same thing. A blurred shot of my sleeping face. Taken from just above me. Looking straight down. And in the corner of every photo, there's a sliver of red fabric. We never saw that cloth again after the rescue. But somehow, I think it's still with us. Still watching. I used to believe dreams were just the mind's random fireworks, echoes of memory, stress, or suppressed thoughts. But that was before the hospital. Before the dream started repeating. Before I found out I wasn't the only one having it. The first night I dreamed it, I remember the stench, damp rot, like moldy insulation soaked in stagnant water. I was walking, limping, down a hallway, my bare feet slapping against cold tile. Every light flickered above me, a dull yellow glow hanging in long, stuttering strips overhead. The walls were stained, flaked with grime and peeling paint. It was the kind of place that should have been torn down. But somehow, it still clung to existence. I didn't know why I was there, but I knew I had to move. Something was behind me, not footsteps, just a presence. Like the air thickened behind my back, like the hallway itself hated me. Each night, the dream got longer, more vivid. The second night, I reached a room, a surgery suite, the kind you'd see in old photos, silver tables with rusted wheels, leather straps dangling from the sides. Everything was coated in dust except one thing, the mirror, perfectly clean. When I looked into it, I didn't see myself. I saw a figure, blurred out like a censored face on the news, standing just behind me. The third night, I ran. There was no logic to the layout, stairs that ended in walls, elevators with no buttons, corridors that looped, but I ran anyway, lungs burning, heartbeat hammering like someone knocking to get out of my chest. I woke up gasping, soaked in sweat, but I didn't talk about it until the dream followed me into waking life. It was a Tuesday when I found the thread. Reddit, a horror forum I barely remembered subscribing to. Someone had posted, "Anyone else keep dreaming about an abandoned hospital? Same one every time. There's something in it." They described the tiles, the rusted metal, even the exact buzzing sound the lights made. People flooded the comments, sharing nearly identical experiences, different languages, different time zones. Same dream. I replied, "In mine, there's a mirror in a surgery room, but I never see myself in it. Anyone else?" The reply came in less than 5 minutes. "Yeah, but last night, I saw someone waving behind me. Then I turned around and no one was there." That night, I started recognizing things that hadn't been there before, graffiti on the walls, "Wake up," scratched into a door. And I started seeing people. In the dream, I turned a corner and ran straight into a guy with a beard and a flannel shirt. He screamed. I screamed. We just stood there, breathing heavy, staring at each other like dogs too scared to bark. I woke up right after, shaking. When I checked the thread the next morning, I had a private message. "Were you wearing a black hoodie last night?" I hadn't told anyone what I wore to bed. More people came forward. They started forming a chat group, Dreamwalkers. Someone called us. Every night, we'd go to sleep, and in the morning, we'd compare notes. We'd drawn maps of the place. Someone even claimed to have found an old layout that matched a real hospital in upstate New York, Shadwell Asylum, abandoned in 1978 after a patient riot. We joked about organizing a sleep expedition. Some took melatonin to try and stay longer. Others set alarms to wake up before it got too real. Then Mason didn't wake up. He was one of the regulars. Funny, skeptical, said he worked in IT. One night he posted, "I'm gonna try to stay all the way through. See what happens if I go upstairs." That was the last message he ever sent. Someone in the group found his obituary 2 weeks later. Cardiac arrest in his sleep. 32 years old, healthy. I didn't sleep for days. But exhaustion is patient, and the dream doesn't care if you're ready. I was back in the hospital. Only this time, I wasn't alone. The halls were dimmer, more warped, like something had started peeling the place from reality. The lights flickered faster. The smell was worse. And now, the footsteps behind me were louder. I heard a voice. No, voices. Whispers from vents. Chanting from rooms. One said my name, but not the way people say it. It was drawn out, warped, stretched like a voice played backwards. And then I saw the mirror again. This time, I wasn't in it. No one was. Just the empty hallway behind me. But as I stood there, the reflection slowly darkened. A shape crawled into the frame. Crawled. On all fours. Its limbs were wrong. Its head was smooth. No face. Just skin. It pressed itself against the mirror like it was trying to get through. I ran. Again. But this time, the walls changed. They were watching. Breathing. The floor buckled. The lights started going out one by one, chasing me in darkness. And in the corner of my eye, I saw them. Others like me. People I'd never met in real life. Running too. We passed each other like commuters in a burning subway. Then everything went silent. Dead silent. I turned a corner and saw an open door. A metal one. With deep scratch marks. My body moved on its own. Inside was a stairwell. Leading up. I remembered what Mason said. I climbed. Slowly. Each step was heavier than the last. Like walking through tar. My vision blurred. I thought I heard my mom calling me from downstairs. But I kept going. At the top, a hallway stretched out in both directions. One side was pitch black. The other was glowing red. Like a furnace down the hall. I heard something breathing behind me. I didn't turn. I walked toward the red light. Then I woke up. It was 2:13 a.m. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might black out. I stumbled to the bathroom, flipped on the light, and looked in the mirror. At first, I didn't see anything strange. But then I leaned closer. There were scratches, tiny, almost imperceptible, on the surface. Like fingernails had dragged across the glass. That was 3 nights ago. Last night, I didn't dream of the hospital. I didn't dream at all. But when I woke up, there was something in my inbox. A photo. It was blurry, black and white, but I recognized the hallway. The same one from the dream. Only this time, it was from the outside. As if someone had taken a picture of the hospital from behind my eyes. Attached was a note. You've brought it back with you. I don't sleep anymore. I can't. Not because I'm scared I'll go back. Because I'm scared it'll get out. And I'm starting to see people differently. In elevators. At work. Some of them, they look at me too long. Too knowingly. Sometimes I think I see Mason. Not in dreams. In mirrors. Watching.